Plaintiff Tony Mays says he started dating another woman after he and the defendant stopped having sex. And that's when the defendant said she was pregnant with his child. Tony claims he has always questioned paternity. And now the defendant denies him visitation. So he petitioned the court for a paternity test. Defendant Eureka Harvell says throughout her pregnancy, Tony was emotionally abusive and told her that she should terminate the pregnancy. Eureka claims she recently got a protective order against Tony because he left her a threatening voicemail, and she's countersuing for child support.
Sir, you petitioned for a DNA test today.
Yes.
Determine paternity. And, ma'am, you're suing for child support for $5,000. Start with you.
I met Eureka in 2008, 2009. I met off the internet. When I met her, I thought we was like together because, you know, it was sex involved and all that.
Where y'all from, Gary?
Yeah, Gary. I'm from Gary.
Not me.
How'd you know that?
Huh?
How did you know that? You just knew.
Dress like guys from Gary. There was no Gary's up the street.
Yeah.
Guys from Detroit, dress like guys from Gary too, and I'm from Detroit, so that's no criticism. It's just a recognition of the same culture. Not trying to be
I met
funny.
you before. You probably just
See there? Where were we at?
in Gary.
Gary? They're laughing, but I've done a lot of work in Gary, haven't I?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of folks know I've done a lot of work on their anti-crime, worked with the mayor there, worked on a weapons coalition with the sheriff and the mayor there, and even the sheriff over here in Chicago. Gun coalition was both Indiana and Chicago because Chicago has, and Illinois has, very strict gun laws. And so it's very hard to get a hold of the semi-automatic weapons.
Right.
But in Indiana, they have gun shows, which are what are referred to as the loophole. You don't have to show much. It's very lax gun laws. So they buy the guns in Indiana and then take them over to Chicago for them to kill themselves with. And the same thing happens in other parts of the country. In Georgia has very lax gun laws. So there's a pipeline from Georgia all the way up to New York, because New York has very strict gun laws. So just a little education there about Gary and the challenges they have, and his reference to me working over there. You and her met in 2008?
Yes.
All right, and how did that turn out? Go from there.
Well, it's like when I hung out with her once before, and like I thought we was together, but the way she was introducing me, it's like we was friends. But so after that, it's like I stopped liking her after that, and then I met her somebody else, and me and her was in a relationship. So right when I got in that new relationship, that's when Eureka came and told me she was pregnant by me. So I was there during the pregnancy and everything. I was there when he was born. I cut the umbilical cord. I signed a birth certificate. But ever since the day he was born, I heard like one of her family members say, "Eureka, you ain't gonna tell him." And so, you know, that's been stuck in my mind.
How many times you heard that? Once or more?
Just one time.
Okay.
What
It was-
family member?
I don't know who it was. It was like she was having birth, and whoever was in her, like behind her, was like, "Eureka, you ain't gonna tell him?"
That's not a time that somebody would say that. They might say it even a couple of days later. Might still be early. Go on, go. You stick it with it. Go ahead.
That's been stuck with me ever since. So,
all right. So since then,
since then, you know, I just been trying to, you know, just be a father to my son the best way I can, you know, just.
So why did we wait 10 years to get to this?
Well, I've
Or
been
8?
trying to get a DNA test since he was born. They kept telling me that I had to get a lawyer to get one. I couldn't afford one at the time.
Who kept telling you that?
Her cousin. It was my caseworker at the time.
Her cousin was your caseworker?
Well, it's her.
Anybody she knew
her
was your
cousin's wife.
caseworker.
Yeah, they
you
got
were
the same.
subjected to them
They got
for
the
your
same-
child support
They got
analysis.
the same last name.
Ooh.
That's who I had to
I
go to
hope
court
the
for.
child is yours, because if not, you got a raw deal. You had her cousin was the caseworker overseeing your child support status and wouldn't let you get a DNA test. Nope, bring a lawyer. In the meantime, keep paying my cousin her money.
Right. Basically.
Is that true? Your cousin is over his case.
She was.
She was my cousin at the time.
And she was over
But
his
she
child
did not-
support case.
She did not mess up any guidelines. She followed the rules throughout this whole case. He didn't find out that was my cousin until a year ago.
That's why I'm here for this test then. I believe the child is his. So, go ahead, continue. Her cousin had your case.
So as time go by, it's like I asked Rick, I say, can you bring my son to me? Because she stays 20 minutes away from me. So I gotta ask her, beg her, can you bring my son?
Why
She
can
like,
you
no.
go get the child?
I can. I don't have a vehicle right now,
Okay.
sir. I gotta
Got it.
catch the train to go get him, but she has a vehicle.
Okay.
And like I haven't seen him since last year, June, when I had him. So I just had him 2 weeks ago. Then when I finally get him, I go through his phone. He on the internet. He done made a YouTube channel. He cussing, talking about if you see this girl, you need to smack her and you need to beat the out of this man. And
He's
he's
8 or 9?
9 years old. So I recorded him. I asked him, I said, Jay, do you be at home by yourself? He said, yeah, my mom leave me at home by myself sometimes. So I'm like, how are you at home by yourself, but you can't be brought to me and I'm only 20 minutes away? So instead of her bringing him to me, she gave him to my other son's mother. And they, like, my other son is 15, so they feel like he old enough to watch the kids and stay at home and babysit. So I feel like I don't like.
Let me allow her to give some testimony. Go ahead.
Your Honor, he's just trying to make himself look good. Basically, that's
Okay.
what it is. About a couple months ago, he just sent me a voicemail threatening my life. I had to get a protective order against him.
Let's deal with the background first. So you all
Okay.
started dating in 08.
We started dating in 08.
In 09.
I had my son in 09. January of
Okay.
09. Throughout the whole my whole pregnancy, he was like, you need to get an abortion. You gonna mess up your life. You gonna mess up my life. Basically telling me that I'm gonna live off the state type stuff. It's just being emotional abusive to me.
Was he there
my whole-
at the, as he says, at the delivery?
Only reason why he was at the delivery is because my godmother called him and told him to get there. That was the only reason why he was there. And for him to say he signed a birth certificate, he could have asked for a DNA test right then and there, but he didn't. My son has his middle and last name. My son came out with 12 fingers. That's not on my side of the family. That's his side of the family. There's no doubt in my mind that I know he's the father.
Do you want to address the fact that he says you don't help facilitate him seeing his son?
I feel that I shouldn't have to bring my son to you. If you can go and rap at clubs and hang out with your friends, you should be able to come and get your son.
And if not, son is just out of luck. Huh? No, I ain't giving you no ride. For what? I want to see my daddy.
He don't say that, but
What does he say? He don't want to see him?
he don't because he
doesn't
know
wanna
how
see
his
his
daddy
son?
is.
He love me.
Okay.
He love you, but what do you do?
He said
What do
my
you?
daddy do everything for me.
That's a lie.
He told her he doesn't want to see you.
That's not true. If he was,
He's trying to turn my son against me. That's
Well,
what
no,
he's
we're
trying
talking
to
about what
do.
you just said. You said your son has told you he doesn't
Plenty
want
of
to see his
times.
dad.
He has.
Did he say why?
Because he said his dad argues with everybody. His dad, he told me I don't be at home. He never around his son. He's out running the streets.
Because he's 9. I feel like I should be able to have communication with my son without me, raising my voice.
No,
I
she's
should.
saying that your son has told her when he goes to visit you, you're never there, that you're in the street. So
No,
does your
I'm
son
never-
say
I
he's
can't-
leaving?
I can't-
Hold on,
I
sir.
can't be in the
Does your
street.
son, hold on,
You just
sir.
got a job after 10 years.
Ma'am, talk to me. Your son says he leaves him there by himself?
Yes, he says that as well. Yes.
When did he tell you that?
He tell me that all the time.
All
Every
the
time he
time.
goes with him.
And yet
I don't even know.
Yet you keep sending your son
Right.
to a place where he, at 9 years old, is there by himself. You do that?
I do not even know where this man lives. When I did,
And you don't know where your son is even spending
Exactly,
the
because
night?
he never tells
You
me.
definitely
But when
should
I-
He
be
never tells
taking
me.
him over and over.
But when I send him home, he come
Neither
home,
one of you all are
bags of
sounding
clothes.
good, very good about this, but the things you're saying, ma'am, sound worse. So you're much more believable, I got to tell you. And I'm just hoping that you're not doing this to escape what she claims.
No, I'm
you
trying to
owe.
get out the streets. I'm trying to change my life around. I'm actually in them streets in poverty. I grew up around all the drug dealers, all the drug addicts. I'm just trying to change my life. And I'm trying to move out of the state. So at least they garnishing my check now. I might not make that much, but at least I'm doing something. I'm trying to get out the street and change my life around.
Yeah.
The more that I figure out who I am as a person, I feel like a person should respect me that I'm trying to reach out to my son.
Yep, I do.
I feel like I'm a professional at selling drugs, but I feel like I want to be a professional at having a career, a job. I've been trying to get out them streets for the longest. All my peoples, my family, they dying in them. So I feel blessed to still be alive and still be strong and able to reach out for my son. I have a sophomore in high school, and I'm going through the same thing with him. But for this 9-year-old, I feel like I should be able to communicate with her. If she call herself a Christian woman of God, I should be able to communicate with a woman of God, you know?
Ma'am, your claim for $5,000, I'm sure he probably owes that. Can you give me some background on it?
Well, I put him on child support back in June of 2009. My son was about 5, 6 months.
Good. And what was the amount?
He was supposed to pay between, he started off supposed to be paying $42 a week. He had got it brought down to like $20 a week. My son is 9 years old, and total is supposed to be $19,362. Within that 9 years, he only has paid $4,017.55.
Okay. All right, so he certainly owes at least $5,000. Let me see that.
All I could do is try.
The last time he paid, Your Honor, was back in July, which was $4.
I feel like I shouldn't have to pay because when I get him, I'll send him home with bags of clothes and shoes.
That
and I
he
get
cannot
him,
fit.
I get him bigger because he 9 years old, so I get him bigger so I just won't buy him no small clothes and he grow out of them real fast.
One thing for sure is she's acknowledged that you send clothes over there to him. Her only complaint is that they don't fit. What type of receipts do you have? You do show a sincerity of trying to do what you can.
This only half of them. I couldn't bring them all, but them my money orders that I
And let me tell you, like I tell other young men and women, it is always best for the woman or you to put yourself on child support, because women and men, whomever the custodial parent is, they'll come to court, and depending on their status and their friendship or relationship with you, they'll say they didn't get anything. And then you can pull out all these receipts, and depending on the judge might say, well, that was a gift. And
I keep tags from their clothes. I've been keeping everything since they've been babies. Because my parents already told me.
What'd you say? Stolen clothes? Is that what you're saying? Anything else bitter you want to say? Go ahead, get the DNA, man. And I'm seeing what a man is
doing the best I can.
Giving $20 at a time. $30.
Like I lost my
every
home.
single month. In fact, he's given something. I
lost my car. I lost my home. Everything. I felt like since you got a car,
$5, $19, $25, $40. He has at least 600 payments on here that I've seen. And I am convinced you're a man that wants to be with your son.
All the time.
But it's just something curious about you owing this amount of money, and suddenly this is when you show up in court.
I've been trying all these years to get a DNA test. They've been sending me on the runaround.
All right, sir. Well, I'm glad we could help you and help you to know that, yes, he is your son. So that and I'm going to grant your $5,000 to you, as it is indicated. He owes in excess of that, but the best we can give here is $5,000. Good luck to you both, and hopefully you'll get a little more cooperation with seeing your son, especially for the counterclaimant.
I'm kind of happy, you know, that he's mine now. I don't really have to stress anymore. I just hope me and his mother can just come to some kind of agreement, you know, and just have a good communication for the sake of our son. You know, I don't hate her or nothing. You know, I still got love for her, you know, because she still is a good female. She just got some crazy ways sometimes. So I'm just glad I kind of just got some closure now that this is my son. So I'm just going to continue to keep doing what I'm doing and be his father.